court. Bogdanovic, 14 points. Amir Coffey with 20. As Amir will put on the headset for us. Amir, thank you so much. 20 points for you today in 27 minutes, 7 for 11 from the field and 2 for 5 from 3. You had an excellent start to the ball game. Your bench unit outscored your starters through the first half. Why did that group work so well together?
Just playing together, trying to get out in transition, get some easy ones for us. Just moving the ball, taking what the defense gives us, and, we were hitting shots.
7 for 11 for you today. What led to such an efficient night from the field?
Just staying aggressive. I know what I can do. I know what I can do for my team. Just trying to create for myself and my teammates. And, tonight the ball was dropping for me.
30 points for James Harden, 27 of them in the second half.
Yeah.
Bogdanovic was able to knock down big shots for you guys, 51% from 3. How good does the offense feel right now from what's the potential of this group to where it's at right now?
Man, when we play the right way, the sky's the limit. When the ball's moving, guys are playing with energy, cutting. It's hard to guard. So, we could keep that up. I feel like we'll be in a good position.
33 assists on 44 made shots. Enjoy this one with your teammates. Amir, thank you so much.
For sure.
Amir Coffey finishes with 20 tonight off the bench for the Clippers in 27 minutes. Thanks to Amir for joining us. For Carlo Jimenez, our statistician, Rich Rohash, our engineer, Bill Karambillis. We're saying so long for the United Center. Adam Ausland and Daniel West will take over in Burbank. We'll talk to you in a few, though. Final score from Chicago. The Clippers needed a win, and they got a win. 122-117 over the Bulls at the United Center. Take it away, Daniel, on your Clippers Audio Network.
The Clippers were able to calm the winds in the Windy City late in Chicago as they win 122-117 over the Bulls. Welcome into your postgame show. I'm Adam Oslin. Coming up, second half highlights, your postgame box score, and more. But first, out and back to United Center with your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez. Well, we talked about it being an early must-win type of contest for this Clippers team. Somehow, some way, they got it done, and that way was playing through James Harden a lot in the second half.
Just an unreal performance from Harden. 20 points in that third quarter, Adam. He hit 3 threes in the quarter, and 3 threes in the quarter, finished with 5 in the second half, 6 in the second half. Just an unbelievable performance. Way to put the team on his back. Finishes with 36 minutes tonight, 5 for 5 from the free throw line. And Adam got it done when the Clippers needed big shots down the stretch. 6 assists for James today, a part of that 33 for the Clippers. They moved the ball at just an elite level and were able to match Chicago shot for shot in that fourth quarter. A great win, a feel-good win for the Clippers, no doubt, and a win they needed in this ball game, and James Harden was the motor throughout the night.
Yeah, James Harden with those 27 points in the second half. The clutch 3 late to put this one away. Another guy who struggled mightily from downtown the last couple of ball games, including going 1 of 12 Monday night in Detroit, came through with some big threes as well. That would be Bogdan Bogdanović.
Woo, and he had one, Adam, where the basketball god said, "You missed 11 last game. Here's a back of the rim, off the top of the backboard, off the sides of the rim, off the backboard, and in." If there was ever a shooter's bounce, that was one. Just great to see him continue to be aggressive for this Clipper team, get downhill, attack. Felt like he did not look any more hesitant from the last game, and that's your biggest fear when you have a game where you go 1 for 12. How does it affect the next contest? For Bogey, it had no effect. He was as aggressive. I thought he was calculated in his time attacking Adam. I mean, in 25 minutes, he had 6 assists to go along with his 14 points, was able to spread and facilitate. Really interesting that in those final couple possessions, Adam, they played, and this is a new wrinkle that the Clippers now have with Bogey on the offensive end. You see the trust Ty Lue has. He puts Bogey on ball, and James now plays off ball down the stretch. Now, Harden, obviously the big shot to win the game and to put the Clippers up by 6 and put Chicago away. But there was a massive possessions there for Bogdan Bogdanović. Clippers needed him to bounce back. He did. And I'm sure his confidence is a lot higher after that game. 4 threes matching a season high, and he's done it already twice with the Clippers.
And they got pushed by a Chicago team that also knocked down 19 threes. I mean, that third quarter with both teams going 8 of 11 from distance, that was an absolute shooting clinic. And a lot of those were well defended by Dunn out there, by DJ. It just didn't matter. Both teams were hot, including, felt like Kawhi Leonard to start that third really set the tone there, Carlo.
You called for him to be more aggressive after taking minimal shots in the first half, Adam. He took the first 3 shots for the Clippers in the third quarter, got to the free throw line, and was able to be effective on the glass with 8 rebounds. 32 minutes for Kawhi. Seems like he's around that same cap for the Clippers, but I loved his aggressiveness defensively. 4 steals in this one, along with a couple offensive rebounds. He was active in the hustle areas, and he hit 3 big threes for the Clippers down the stretch. Some bailout ones as well. The Clippers needed this win. They got this win. Kawhi Leonard was a big part of that to start the third quarter.
Also want to highlight a little guy who had 8 assists and led them in that area in just 18 minutes. That would be Ben Simmons off the bench. He was throwing dimes out there, Carlo. I really love those over-the-shoulder passes he had, those lobs to the interior. I like the dimension he's adding to this team.
And when you're 6'10", there's not a lot of guys in the NBA who are comfortable in the painted area trying to facilitate, but Ben Simmons' ability to grow up playing point guard and then have that comfortability in the paint because of his size, I mean, your short roll, low post guys can just facilitate like nothing else from that 15 to 12-foot area, and that's where Simmons picks apart the defense. I mean, his ability to get down low, to find guys cutting to the rim, to dump it off underneath, so impressive from Ben Simmons in that ball game. Just great to see him continue to be aggressive for the Clippers. finished Adam plus 15. It was the highest plus minus. I know game plus minuses can sometimes be a little skewed, but Ben and that second unit of Ben, Bogey, Amir, Nico, and Drew. I mean, Drew only played 4 minutes, but he had 4 points, 3 rebounds. They had something to end the first and to start the second. I think Ty Lue, a lot of people will say he loves to tinker, but he is slowly picking out lineups. I'm sure he's highlighting in his notes saying, hey, this works. We can put this 5 together. 24 first half points for the Clippers from their bench in this game. Quite impressive performance.
Yeah, they were awesome starting that second quarter, getting them up by 12. Clippers were down by 1, though, at the half. They found a way, though, to pull through in Chicago. They win with a final score of 122 to 117. They're headed back to LA, not to Intuit Dome quite yet, as they got 2 first at Crypto starting Friday night against the Lakers. Tip-off for that one is at 7. We'll have your pregame show starting at 6. You want to talk about a battle for Los Angeles. Huge games coming up. I'm glad they got a day off tomorrow, Carlo.
It's not an overstatement, Adam. The next 2 games might be the biggest of the year when it comes to the standings. We got some good ones coming up. Let's go!
Carlo, my guy, great call. Safe travels. We'll see you back in LA soon.
Yes, sir, Adam. Nice hoodie. Looking good.
Coming up next, we got second half highlights from Carlo as the Clippers handle their business in Chicago. They come through late thanks to James Harden with 27 of his 30 points in the second half and win 122 to 117 over the Bulls. I'm Adam Moslin. Second half highlights next right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers with a 122-117 victory as they held on late to win in Chicago. They're coming back to LA to take on the Lakers Friday and Sunday at Crypto. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Moslin. This is your post-game show. Still to come, we'll get to your final box score, but right now, second half highlights. Clippers were down 60-59 at the half, but in that third quarter, James Harden went supernova.
Looks underneath for Zoo, holds it at the left hip, spins around the shoulder, bounces it to Harden, a right wing 3. You bet, James Harden from the near corner. Harden right wing, angling, Picked up by the rookie Buzelis. A step back three for the beard. Bullseye! James Harden tallies three. The Clippers can't miss this quarter. Kicks it Bogdanovich far wing. Crosses over. Runs out of real estate. Feeds it for Harden right corner. Pump fakes and fires. It's through! James Harden, another third quarter three. Harden a right wing three. Oh yeah! The beard put buckets in here in the third. 17 in the quarter for Harden. Bogdanovich just knocked down one, feeds it for Harden for 20 in the corner. The three is through! 20 in the third for the beard.
James Harden entered the third quarter with 3 points. He exited it with 23. He had 20 points in the third quarter alone, and the Clippers led 98-93 entering the fourth. Why? Because, well, they went 8 for 11 from three. So did the Bulls, who continued to match them with hot shooting from distance in the fourth quarter. But speaking of, how about this bounce back game from Bogey?
Simmons swing it, Bogey, right wing, fires the three. In and out off the top of the backboard. He gets a side of the rim bounce, and it falls in. He was due for shooter's bounce, and it comes here in Chicago. Clippers another chance. Bogdanovich doesn't shoot it on the left wing. 10 to shoot. Curls a zoo screen, steps into a three, puts it through. Bogdanovich, big time shot maker, and the Clippers go up 5.
Bogdanovich was huge from distance, coming off a shooting performance where he was just 1 for 12 on Monday night in Detroit. Completely redeemed himself, hit 4 3-pointers in this one, some clutch ones late as well. Speaking of clutch threes, with the Clippers only up by 3 with just about 30 seconds left, let's get back to James Harden.
Takes it down the right alley, pocket pass to Zoo, left corner Coffee, swing it Harden, flies by ball, left-handed floater, rolls around and down. James Harden, big time shot in traffic, trying to split the season series with Chicago. Harden, right angle, step back, a three, nylon! James Harden, a big time shot for the right wing, doubles the Clipper lead, 121-14, timeout Chicago.
That would prove to be your game winner as James Harden had 27 of his 30 points in the second half, hit that clutch three late, and the Clippers would win 122-117 over the Bulls as they head back to LA. Not to Intuit Dome yet, though. They got 2 to play at Crypto this upcoming weekend against the Lakers. More on that in your final box score coming up next, right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. What a difference a win makes. The Clippers win 122-117 in Chicago over the Bulls in the Windy City. I'm Adam Osland. Welcome back in. Coming up on AM 570 LA Sports, we got Clippers talk for you. 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570. All is well by people in the chat again after just one win. People who are panicking and doing skies falling at Clippers talk in the chat on the YouTube side are now like, oh, I could see the potential of this team. We're going to be all right if we're healthy. Just please remember that the next time they have a loss. All right, let's talk about this victory. Clippers win by 5 thanks to some hot shooting. They were 19 of 37 from 3. Is that sustainable? No. But it did counter the 19 of 42 shooting from 3 for the Chicago Bulls. Things kind of even out there. The Clippers did have some issues with turnovers in the first half, but it turned around in their favor in the second half, where the Bulls had 14 turnovers in the second half of this one, leading to, I want to say, 25 points for the Clippers. The majority of them coming in that third quarter, where the Clippers were much better defensively. When Chicago wasn't just lights out from 3, there were well-defended threes out there. It just didn't matter. The Bulls were hitting everything just like the Clippers were. Clippers ended up, though, with 33 assists on their 44 makes. That is a really good number. How about Ben Simmons? With 8 of those 33 assists in just 18 minutes out there. Throwing dimes, had 6 points as well. How about Bogey off the bench? 4 of 5 from 3 after going 1 of 12 from 3 on Monday night. I told you guys, you don't give up on a professional shooter like this. Bounces back the very next game. Shooter's got to shoot. He had 14 points, a big 3 late, by the way. Amir Coffey had 20 off the bench, 14 of which came in the first half. He was 7 of 11, 2 of 5 from the outside. Your starters, led by James Harden, who had 30, 27 of which came in the second half, 7 of 14 from 3. After a game where he was 5 of 22 overall, he goes 9 of 20. Also had 6 assists. Kawhi just 17 on just 14 attempts, but I like the way he played in this game. Why? 4 steals. He set the tone early in the third quarter. 4 assists as well, was passing out of double teams. He was being doubled a lot. Derrick Jones Jr. back in Chicago was very good. He had 16 points on 6 of 9 shooting. Big Zoo with 10 and 10. Chris Dunn, fierce defensively as always, and the Clippers come through and withstand some really hot shooting by fighting back by fire with fire, some firepower of their own from 3. 51% is what they shot from 3 on 19 of 37 to win 122-117 over the Bulls. Their next game back in LA at Crypto as they take on the Lakers for 2 there this weekend, Friday and Sunday. Tip-off Friday night is at 7. We'll have your pregame show starting at 6. Outside of Los Angeles, we are leaving you until then. Up next, we got Clippers talk on AM 570 LA Sports. The Clippers ran up the score with the Bulls in a 3-point shootout where they would win by 5 at 122 to 117, and one of their most efficient games shooting wise of the season. Welcome into your post-game show. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Talk here on AM 570 LA Sports and on the YouTube side at Clippers Talk. Appreciate you guys. If you want to get on, 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. Maybe you want to respond after a couple days of panicking and saying it's over, we suck, trade everyone. Clippers win one game. The same people who are saying, where do we go from here? Well, they go back to LA now. Those same people are saying, like, I believe in this team. They can be a contender again. All right, hey, if you want to live and die with every game, that's what being a fan is about sometimes. I would just say if you can hold on to a little bit of perspective and not be a prisoner of the moment, it's good for your heart. It's better than Prilosec. It's really good for your heart. That's the area I like to live in. This Clippers team was in trouble. It started off okay. They led heading in to that second quarter by a score of 31 to 26. After Derrick Jones Jr. had 9 points in the first quarter alone to lead them in that area. I still was going, though, is Kawhi going to assert himself a little bit more? Is he going to attack a little bit more? He only got up 3 shots the first 7.5 minutes. Amir Coffey, though, also saved him with 7 points off the bench in the first. And then to start the second, who would have thunk it? I know you guys often don't like these lineups, and you call out Coach Lue all the time when they happen, so you're going to give him credit when they are successful. He starts the second quarter with Ben Simmons, Nico Batum, Drew Eubanks, Bogey, and Amir. And from the end of the first to the start of the second, that group goes on a 12-2 run. They cooked. They were awesome. Amir had 7 more points in that second quarter. Bogey was getting more involved offensively. Drew Eubanks played really well. Was playing aggressive basketball out there, guarding on one end, had 4 points on the other, and the Clippers got up by 12. They looked great. Then the starters came back in, and they just gave it away, mostly due to turnovers. Within the span of 3 minutes and 20 seconds, I believe, they went from being up 12 to down 1. And they would head into the half down 1 at 60 to 59. During those 3 minutes and 20 seconds, or during the last really 7 minutes of the second quarter, when the starters came back in, they had 4 turnovers. And during that stretch where the turnaround happened, 3 of them were by James Harden, some really bad ones where he didn't get back on defense. Dunn and Ivica Zubac did, but he didn't. Kawhi had another one. I was frustrated. Harden looked completely out of gas. He looked cooked. He looked like a guy that has been playing far too many minutes, because he has. Coach Lue has even apologized for it. They've needed him to. Kawhi came back for this ball game, thank goodness. And somehow, after an abysmal first half from James Harden, where he had more turnovers than points, he turned things around in a hurry in that third quarter. To start the third, it was Kawhi Leonard, and I was talking about him needing to be a little bit more aggressive. And actually, as Carlo asked me heading into the third quarter, right away, what the key is here for the Clippers, I think we got a highlight for you of that. We got a clip for you. Daniel West is grabbing it. I thought Kawhi needed to start strong in the third quarter. He only took 6 shots in the first half. And, yeah, he did. We got it? Taken 6 shots so far. He's had good bounce to him, but he's got to be more aggressive and lead this team.
He had 22 in his last game, a season high. He's got it left wing. He jabs right, looks at the rim, puts it on the floor, fires, and hits. Good call, Adam. 61-60. Clippers lead by 1.
Sometimes it goes your way like that. So Kawhi starts things off for the Clippers. They take the lead. He gets fouled their next time down, makes a couple of free throws. He took their first 3 shots of that third quarter, and I liked what I was seeing. Honestly, I thought it was a good process. It's time to getting back to playing through Kawhi more, and for him to process quickly what's happening out there, and when he's being doubled, make quick decisions. And I was seeing some of it, and I thought this Clippers offense has a nice rhythm to it. Little did I know what would be occurring in that third quarter very quickly, because they found their legs. They found their offense. That third quarter, as Kawhi Leonard handed the baton over to James Harden, after Kawhi, I want to say, had a quick 6 points in the third, and then Harden, who had just 3 points, just 3 in the first half, just went radioactive, as Brian Seaman would say, supernova. And it wasn't just him. Everybody started hitting from the outside. It was incredible. This Clippers team went 8 of 11 from 3 in the third quarter alone. And James Harden dropped 20. He could not miss. We've seen this many times before. They needed him badly. He took over. But the problem was the Chicago Bulls weren't going anywhere. They were knocking down everything too. They ended up going 8 of 11 from 3 in the third quarter as well. I told you guys my key to victory was, well, Chicago averages 43 attempts from the outside per game, and they're third in makes from 3 per game at 16. Can't let them get going. I don't know if the Clippers let them get going. Like, some of these guys just got scorching hot and were knocking down shots with a hand on their face. I was taking note of this. A lot of them were well defended, and it didn't matter. In that third quarter, specifically, when they went 8 of 11 from 3. They finished 19 of 42. So they made 3 more than they typically do. The Clippers got challenged. They got somewhat of an outlier shooting performance from a team that shot 8% better from 3 than they normally do. But the Clippers, they had one of their most efficient shooting games themselves. 19 of 37. A lot of that's James Harden, 7 of 14. But really, it was between him, Kawhi, and Bogey. Those guys ended up going 14 of 24 from 3. 14 of 24. That's 58%. And I told you guys who were giving up on Bogey already and saying, he lost us the game the other night, stick with him. This guy's a professional shooter. And he got off the schneid. 4 of 5 from 3 with huge ones in the fourth. Like, the Clippers, they weren't pulling away. Chicago wasn't going anywhere. Even with that James Harden 20-point third quarter, that level of takeover, where he hit one in the far side corner, then on the right wing, then straight away to put him up 95 to 87. Even with all that, as he was playing just around the world on the perimeter, knocking down 3-pointers, like, Kobe White couldn't miss. It was going against him too. He ended up going 4 of 11. Josh Giddey was 4 of 4. Are you kidding me? Trey Jones was 2 of 2. Herter, who's been struggling ever since that first round series with the Kings against the Golden State Warriors a couple of years ago from 3. He hasn't been the same. His confidence has been down. I didn't know Josh Giddey was shooting 37% from 3 on the season. That's impressive. Maybe they didn't need to get a first-round pick in that trade with Alex Caruso going to OKC. He's been good. He's become a better shooter. But so they're getting a taste of their own medicine right back at him. And the Clippers are only up 5 heading into the 4th. To start the 4th, both teams turn it over. You got Simmons, Kawhi, Batum, Bogey, and Amir out there. Simmons then has a steal that leads to an Amir layup. And Chicago, already with a sense of urgency there, called a timeout, with the Clippers only up 6. The Bulls then, and this was one disturbing trend, while they were hitting some crazy threes in the second half, when they were missing shots, they were getting those long rebounds. They were getting to a lot of those 50-50 balls against the Clippers. I didn't like seeing that. The offensive rebounds, that's on the Clippers. There were far too many of them. They ended up with, I want to say 14. Why's my box score saying 11? Doesn't make sense. Their second chance points were really hurting the Clippers. Yeah, they had 15 offensive rebounds leading to 19 second chance points. Clippers had 11 offensive rebounds leading to 7. The turnovers were helping the Clippers by Chicago, and that was because the Clippers ramped up the defensive intensity in the second half. Chicago had just 3 turnovers in the first half, 14 in the second half. That turned into 17 turnovers for 29 points for the Clippers. This is what they do. They're second in the league in points off of turnovers. This is who they are. So I was very happy to see, I think they had 9 of them in the third quarter alone, them getting back to doing what they do best, turn you over. That's what the Clippers brand of basketball is. But early in the 4th, they were still getting offensive rebounds, even during a shot clock violation out of that timeout after the Clippers went up by 7, and they called the timeout. Then Simmons hits a floater. Clippers are up by 9. Chicago misses a 3. Woo! But then Trey Jones hits a 3. It's 102-96. They kept hitting these threes to keep them in it. That's the modern NBA. Like, you can play a bad team, and if they get hot by 3 or hot from 3, it doesn't matter. Like, sometimes defense can be spectacular. You can have a hand in their face. You can not give up any airspace. They're knocking them down. Guys catch a rhythm. It is hard to stop them in today's NBA. That's just not something you had to deal with in the 90s. We done with the 90s. Simmons had then a pass to Amir over his shoulder, an over-the-shoulder pass, beautiful pass to Amir for a layup. Bogey hits a 3. Clippers are up by 11, 107-96. I thought this was it. We're not going to have crunch time minutes. We're not going to maybe have to have James Harden get back into the ball game. Giddey hits a 3, went 4-4 from 3. Simmons missed a layup, then a putback, then another tip in. Clippers got it back, and then Kawhi turned it over. Then you had Zach Collins, who had a huge game against them. He gets a bucket on the other end. You go from being up 11 to being up 5 again, just like that. Kawhi gets a 3 to beat the shot clock on the right wing from distance. Clippers are up by 8. Can they extend it out? Can they stretch out this lead? Please get some breathing difference. Get him at arm's length. Zoo comes in for Ben Simmons. Another offensive rebound leads to a Herder 3. 5-point game again. Kawhi misses. Offensive rebounds again by Chicago. A 3 by Jones again. It's a 2-point game. Bogey has a block with the Clippers up 2, where it looks like he got hurt. Amir hit a clutch jumper, by the way. Everybody hating on Amir Coffey lately. Everybody's in shambles right now from him. But right after that, Herder got a run out for a layup as he beat James Harden. It's 112-110. Clippers still up by 2. Amir misses a 3. Kawhi gets the rebound. Harden misses. Kawhi gets the rebound. Harden misses again. Clippers get a stop on the other end. And Bogey hits a 3 to put them up 5. They're just not going anywhere, though. Zach Collins, who looks like an antagonist on One Tree Hill or something, he has a hate the face look to him. Too pretty maybe for his own good. The hair seems like he cares about it a lot. He's a good player. I like Zach Collins. Give him a hard time. But again, another bucket from him. 3-point game. Harden hits a floater. 5-point game. Harden gets a steal on Giddey. But then there's that offensive foul on Bogey as he made the shot with the Clippers up 5, and it would have been an and one. They reviewed it. They lost the challenge. They had a couple timeouts left. They rolled the dice. Some people here in the chat were saying Coach Lue always loses his reviews. No, he doesn't. They're, I think, 10 over 500 on reviews this season. It's either 9 or 10. They're really good with reviews. They're one of the best in the league, the Clippers. The good news was, after losing, as the call stood, as the offensive foul stood there, that's a turnover by the Clippers, Collins traveled on the other end. He kind of lost the ball on a pass and picked it back up for a double dribble. Clippers ball, up 5, and James Harden now has an offensive foul on a floater. Turnover. White layup, 3-point game. Bogey would miss a floater. White would miss a 3. Dunn gets the rebound, and James Harden, with about 15 seconds left, knocks down a huge 3-pointer for the Clippers. That would give them a little bit of airspace, a little bit of breathing room. They would go on to win this one 122 to 117 over the Chicago Bulls. While we have a moment, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on AM 570 LA Sports. Clippers win by 5, thanks to 27 in the second half from James Harden. And all is well in the chat again. Everybody who's been panicking over the last couple of games now is like, you know what? I can see the vision. I can see them as contenders. You get Norman Powell healthy. You get Kawhi playing at an all-NBA level. This team's dangerous. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back. We'll talk about, we got some post-game audio. We'll get to your phone calls too. 866-987-2570, 866-987-2570. I'm Adam Osland. We're giving away some free ads here. Get down on it. Was it Recruiter? Get down. What a mashup. Is YouTube running somewhere in the background with the Spotify? All right, we good. Quick timeout. We'll come back. Clippers win by 5 in Chicago in a must-win game. There's 24 games left. Chicago, at best, is going to be in the 10 spot in the Eastern Conference. They had to win this. They played like it late. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to Clippers Talk here on AM 570 LA Sports. Yeah, the Clippers almost had a 50-50-90 game. 52% from the field, 51% from three, 88% from the free throw line. Well, as Carlo pointed out, Chicago only went 6 of 11, only got up 11 free throws, while teams have been averaging 30 free throws attempted over the last 3 games. It had been an issue. Clippers win in Chicago, 122-117 over the Bulls. Clippers with 44 points off the bench. Chicago was good there too with 36. Clippers on Wednesday had 24 in the first half off the bench. Amir Coffey with 20 himself. He had 14 in the first half. Awesome game from Amir. Showing a ton of toughness out there. Really appreciate his effort. They don't win this game without him. And he's been taking a lot, and I think some unwarranted incoming recently. He started the game hitting a 3 in the first quarter. In the second quarter, a 3. Curled for a layup going left. A turnaround fadeaway on the right baseline. A big jumper when they needed it in the fourth quarter, too. Huge shot. Credit Amir Coffey. Credit this Clippers team. Out shooting the Bulls. The Bulls went 19 of 42 from 3. I'm telling you guys, these were not wide open threes. I was beside myself with some of the shots that were being hit by Chicago from guys who aren't accustomed to always hitting them. No disrespect, but come on. Zach Collins also was incredible with 21 points, 17 rebounds. I mean, Josh Giddey going 4 of 4 from 3. Zach Collins going 2 of 4 from 3. Like, what? But the Clippers overcame it all with their own hot shooting. I'm so happy for Bogey because he's been a Lakers killer in his past life as a member of the Sacramento Kings. And for him to catch a rhythm like this after going something like 2 for his last 20 from 3, and then tonight he goes 4 of 5, hits 2 of them in the fourth quarter. I think maybe all of them were in the second half. Like, just a huge game for Bogey to have those 14 points and to knock down 4 threes. Heading into 2 massive games this weekend against a team he used to torture when he played for the Kings. Kept telling you guys, don't give up on Bogdanović. Ooh, if I went through some of the receipts I had on people talking about Bogey, why was he playing last game? It's like, this is why. You had to let him shoot himself out of that slump. There's nothing wrong with his mechanics. There's nothing wrong with his shot. He's moving well. It was in his head. He said it post-game. You don't give up on guys like that. Career 38% three-point shooters on high volume that can do it off the bounce, not just catch and shoot. You don't give up on guys like that. Bogey can swing a playoff game. He might be able to swing a playoff series. The Clippers can't get to where they want to go without him. So the reason Coach Lue stuck with him and showed that level of confidence in him is because nights like this can happen. The very next game. I don't know if it happens if he had taken Bogey out against the Pistons in that 1 for 12 performance. You look at body of work. That's how you assess guys. Sure, if he was a different player, if he had some catastrophic injury and he was never the same and there was something accounting for this, I'd be like, yeah, he's not the same anymore. There's no reason he can't be the same, that he can't be a 38% three-point shooter right now. He's played, I think, 31 games now this season. He hasn't gotten up enough threes to say that, oh, now he's, lost his confidence, his shot, just because he was shooting 30% when he came over from Atlanta. Bogey is far from washed. Yeah, free TV in here is admitting to being a little bit of a prisoner of the moment. Appreciate that. I heard a lot of people saying it. Like, the shot is the last thing to go. Like, you guys ever watch Mark Jackson beat Steph Curry in a three-point shooting contest back when he was the head coach of the Golden State Warriors? Like, these guys can all still shoot it. There's no reason outside of it being mental that he was missing threes. There was nothing physical going on. That's why I kind of outlined that in the show yesterday and played the audio for you of him talking with Law Murray about it. He's like, it's here, pointing to his head. It's all up here. He is a tough-minded guy. He has been in wars. He has been in battles. In this league, in the Olympics, in Europe, he's been in big games. I fully believe in bogey ball. They need him desperately. He can be a Norm off the bench. And not to the degree Norm is playing at now this season, but he can get you 15 off the bench. He can. He's like that. He's 32, not 38. Clippers win. Thanks to Bogey going 4 of 5 from 3 and bouncing back after a 1 of 12, I don't know, career worst performance ever. Like in any league that he's like, since he's a kid, I'm sure he never went 1 of 12 from 3. I think it was the worst shooting performance by a Clipper in franchise history on Monday night. And tonight he goes 4 or 5. You know, give up on talent like that. Happy for Bogey. And this is perfectly primed for him going into 2 games against the Lakers this weekend. Looking for post-game audio. We'll talk more about the Lakers coming up in that series. Battle of Los Angeles this weekend, Friday and Sunday. I'm Adam Osland after the Clippers head back to LA victorious after a 122-117 victory over the Chicago Bulls. God bless James Harden. 27 of his 30 in the second half, 20-point third quarter, a 3 to put the game away. Incredible. He's been their MVP. This has been James Harden's team this year. I'm Adam Osland. You're listening to Clipper Stock here on AM 570 LA Sports. Clippers, a little bit hotter than the Bulls. They get a victory in Chi-Town. Final score 122-117. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clipper Stock here on AM 570 LA Sports. All right. So, this is interesting. I just saw this from La Murray of The Athletic. So the Clippers have had 5 3-game losing streaks this season. All of them were snapped once they saw either Zach Collins or Kyle Filipowski. So that when Zach was still a Spur, they had a 3-game losing streak. They saw him, they beat him. And obviously, Filipowski with the Utah Jazz. This was the first time, this also comes from La Murray, at La Murray DNU, in 26 days that the Clippers did not trail by double digits in a game. Seems good. Seems good to break that streak. In fact, in this one, I want to say they never trailed by more than 4, and that was early in the ball game, or they were down. Were they down 4 or 5-0? I believe it was, Bulls led by as many as 5, and I think it was when they were down 5-0. It's a must-win game. It's a find any way to win, whatever it takes game. Refuse to lose game. You had to have it game. But I also think there was some good process stuff in there. The ball movement was really good by the Clippers throughout, for the most part. They had 33 assists on 44 made shots. That is, let's see here. I think that's assisting on like 70. Yeah, that's assisting on about 72% of your made shots. They were moving it well. In a game where James Harden had a takeover like that, and you still have 33 assists, love to see it. I thought Bogey had some good assists when they started that second quarter. He finished with 6. He had some assists to James Harden in the second half also. When he was on ball, James Harden was off ball, but he had a couple of good assists in that second quarter with Drew Eubanks out there, with Amir. That second quarter group with Ben Simmons, I like that. They need him, and maybe, I don't know, did that give him confidence with his shot too? Just having the ball in his hands, getting a feel, getting a rhythm? Because it was more in his hands in this game. And he's very capable. Guys, Bogey is a 3-level scorer who can hail the rock, can create, can run pick and roll, and can shoot off the catch or off the bounce. This is why you don't give up on guys like that. Oh, he's washed. 1 for 12 performance. He's done. No. Coach Lou instilled confidence in him, continued to believe, stuck with him, and it paid dividends in this game. Now, some people are talking about Ivica Zubac a little bit. In 30 minutes, he had 10 and 10. He was solid. A couple blocks, 3 assists. And I will say this, for as much as I get on them for not getting Ivica Zubac involved enough, he only took 8 shots. As much as I do, I can understand in this game. Why? Because they were that hot from 3. Because James Harden had a 20-point quarter. So, yeah, you got to apply the context there. It's okay. This wasn't a game where they were struggling to score, and I'm screaming and going, get it to Big Zoo. Get it to him. And they did get it to him multiple times against Zach Collins. And he cooked him a couple of times on the block. That was good to see, too. That's what I'm talking about, good process. There were a few, like, little grains, little breadcrumbs there. We're like, oh, this is the Clippers' identity. This is how they need to play. They're moving the ball better. They're playing through Kawhi to start the third. Ivica Zubac got the ball on the block a few times against Zach Collins. This is good. Like, if Chicago isn't, going supernova God tier from 3, this game would have been over much earlier. Credit them. They shot lights out. Clippers did too. But it's like, well, James Harden is a top 75 player ever. So what's more of the exception to the rule? Him going for a 20-point quarter? Or some of these guys from Chicago that were on fire? Like, that was insane. They just don't have the resume that James Harden does, I'm saying. I was hard on James Harden going into the half. I said, look, if he's this tired out there, if he's going to turn the ball over like this and not get back on defense, you might have to take him out. And I get it. He's been overtaxed. His usage rating is 28%. That's way too high. Last year, I think it was 20%. The reason is because Kawhi's only played his 17th game now. And they haven't had, a real reliable backup. Now they have Bogey. Now they have Ben, who can both bring the ball up. But they have more options. Chris Dunn can do it. But the minutes have been extreme for James. So it's not so much that I was, blaming him for being tired. I'm just saying, if he's that tired and ineffective, you might have to take him out. And then he drops 20 in the third. If you guys are watching on the YouTube side, you can see the egg on my face. At Clippers Talk. We'll take a timeout. Clippers win in Chicago, 122-117, as James Harden drops a game-winning three with 15 seconds left. Has 27 of his 30 points in the second half. And the Clippers are taking on the Lakers for 2 and are in a road game against the Lakers, a true road game for the first time in 25 years at Crypto Friday and Sunday. More on that coming up right here on Clippers Talk on AM 570 LA Sports. It wasn't always pretty. I mean, sometimes it was. You hit 19 three-pointers. But it ain't about pretty sometimes. You just need to see that W. That looked real nice after losing 3 in a row. The Clippers win 122-117 in Chicago over the Bulls. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Moslin. This is Clippers Talk here on AM 570 LA Sports and on YouTube at Clippers Talk. James Harden had 27 of his 30 points in the second half and a game winner late. Can we play that, Daniel? I want everybody to hear that one more time. It's a big shot and a big call from Carlo Jimenez. We'll get that for you in a second. But James Harden, it was his 46th career game of 30-plus points and 7-plus three-pointers. He went 7 of 14 from 3. He only trails Steph Curry who's got 132 of those, and Damian Lillard, who's got 49 all time. Here was James Harden late. Clippers up 3, under 30 seconds left.
Trying to split the season series with Chicago. Harden, right angle, step back, a 3! Nylon! James Harden! A big-time shot for the right wing. Doubles the Clipper lead. 121-14. Timeout Chicago. 14.4 to play. Shot clock is off. And the Clippers have a 2-possession lead. They needed a bucket. They got a bucket from the Beard. What a shot down the stretch.
Fear the Beard, Chicago. Great call by Carlo. You know it's a big bucket when he drops the nylon. James Harden came through. Tremendous second half. As bad as the first half was, I thought. Tremendous, unreal second half. It's what superstars do. Even at the age of 35, he has been carrying this team. I do not know where they would be without him. Probably at the very bottom of the Western Conference. maybe they would be a bottom 4 team, as many predicted coming into this season without James Harden. Currently, that is not the case. They are in the 6th spot in the West. There was an outlier game by evil Zach Collins. He's not actually evil. He just looks like an evil villain at times. He's too good looking. It's a compliment. That's all I'm saying. He had a season high 21 points. Don't like seeing that. A career high 17 boards. The Bulls did have 22 fast break points. That's not good. That's been a recurring trend against the Clippers as of late. Teams getting out, running, whether or not it's on a live ball turnover or just a missed shot by the Clippers. A lot of that was happening in the second quarter when there was a quick turnaround from the Clippers being up 12 to 3 minutes later being down 1. 13-point turnaround in just over 3 minutes. But they withstood it all because sometimes you just got to get a victory. And they needed this. It wasn't just Bogey getting off the schneid with his shooting. This was a feel-good win for the Clippers. Believe me. Winning like that, in some ways, you win on a game winner and a performance like that in James Harden. In some ways, maybe it's better than blowing him out. Honestly. Like, you learn more from being in tough battles where the Bulls were just unconscious from 3. Not because the Clippers were so terrible defensively on the perimeter. I watched these shots closely. They were guarded closely, a lot of them. It was frustrating. Giddey is not a 100% three-point shooter. He's a 37% three-point shooter this season. He went 4-4 in this game. And I'm telling you, those were well defended. It looked like it could just be the Bulls' night type of thing. And the Clippers could pack it in and say, well, it's our 4th straight loss. The season is dwindling down with 24 games left and we're falling apart. I didn't see that. I saw a team that fought, a team that didn't give in, and a player in James Harden. It's the reason he was an all-star. I know people are hating on his overall efficiency this season. It's like, well, look at the context of his usage rating, man. He has the usage rating. Would you just take it easy, man? Sorry, I had a Big Lebowski moment there myself. The way I said that. I heard the dude. Look at his usage rating, man. He shouldn't have the usage rating like Shea does, like Luka does. That'll go down next to LeBron, of course, but like young guys do. He's 35, not 25 anymore. So if you have to have the ball in your hands that much, it's probably going to affect your field goal percentage, your 3-point percentage. I'm just saying there's a real explanation for this. I'm not trying to make excuses. I think it's more of an explanation. I think it's fair to bring up that James Harden is still the system at 35 and Kawhi's only been able to play 17 games. Now, Kawhi, I thought there were some times where it looked like he had some real pop out there, where it looked like he had some juice. They're going to need all of that against the Lakers. I'm going to make a prediction, guys. I know some of you were complaining. Kawhi goes out of the game at around the 3-minute mark of the 4th quarter. He hit his minutes restriction around 33 minutes. I'm going to make a prediction. As long as he comes out of this game feeling good, the foot, the knee, I think that minutes restriction is going to be lifted against the Lakers. Just a prediction. Don't have any intel, no inside knowledge. Just know how meaningful these games are this weekend. And I could see with 24 games left. And if you want any chance of chasing down the Lakers, who are 4 games up on the Clippers right now, you got to win both. I could see him getting to 36 minutes in one of, if not both, these games. I could see it. I could see it happening. And I thought for the most part, he looked pretty good with his movement out there. I did. I watch it closely. You guys know Kawhi watch on here. Never stops. Always going with Kawhi watch. And by the way, here's a good sign from him. Kawhi has been shooting it well from 3. When you talk about legs and having them, people look at your outside shot. Are you short on everything? So let's see here. He's at 41% now in 7 games in February. He's at 41% from 3. 3 of 5 this game, 4 of 8 his last game. It's coming around. Let's hope he's fully unleashed against the Lakers. Because the only way this team is going to that place where they can be a contender in the West is if Kawhi takes them there. Is if he gets back to an all-NBA level. First, I think his minutes need to get back to being mid-30s. That could happen this weekend against the Lakers. I could see it happening. Tip-off Friday at Crypto is at 7. We'll have your pregame show starting at 6. Before we get out of here, I do want to thank the Clippers organization, Ralph Lawler, Brian Seaman, Noah Eagle. Shout out YG 2.0, and Carlo Jimenez. Great call, especially with the nylon. Thanks to our producer here, Daniel West. Appreciate you, man. Big brother Jake Warner. I'll see you soon. Clippers, Lakers, Friday, Crypto. Tip off at 7, pregame at 6. I'm Meta Moslem. We'll talk to you then.